day everyone. Now we will talk about sedimentary petrology. At this part, we will tackle about the scope of sedimentary petrology, which includes its branches, instruments and methods used by some sedimentary petrologists, as well as the important informations regarding the sedimentary rocks. But first, what is sedimentary petrology? When we say sedimentary petrology, it is the field concerned with the description, classification, and interpretation of the processes of sedimentary rocks, as well as the environment that prevailed at the time the deposited of sediments. Moreover, it is also concerned with the small-scale structural features of sediments and sedimentary rocks.
Let's move on to the branches of sedimentary petrology. First branch deals with carbonate rocks and the second branch deals with non-calcareous rocks. First is the branch that deals with the carbonate rocks. This includes limestones and dolomites, which compose principally of calcium carbonate or calcite and calcium magnesium carbonate or dolomite. Moreover, classifying carbonate rocks stems partly from the fact that many limestones and dolomites have been formed directly or indirectly through the influence of organisms including bacteria, land-secreting algae, various-shelled organisms, and bicorals. Second branch will be deals with non-calcareous rocks. This includes sands and sandstones, clays and claystones, siltstones, conglomerates, glacial till, and varieties of sandstones, siltstones, and conglomerates. Next is the instruments and methods used by sedimentary petrologists. First instrument will be the petrographic microscope, where it is used for the description and classification of sedimentary rocks. Next is the X-ray mineralogy, used to define fabrics and small-scale structures. Next is the physical model flume experiments, which is used for studying the effects of flow as an agent of transport and the development of sedimentary structures. Last is the mass spectrometry, where it is used to calculate stable isotopes and the temperatures of depositions, cementation, and diagenesis. Now, let's talk about what is sedimentary rock. Sedimentary rocks are rocks that are formed by the accumulation, compaction, and consolidation of sediments that are formed near or at the Earth's surface. Next is the formation of sedimentary rocks. Sedimentary rocks forms through 5 processes. These are the following. We have weathering, erosion, deposition, compaction, and cementation. When we say weathering, it is the process by which rock materials are broken down by the action of physical or chemical processes. When we say erosion, it is the process by which wind, water, ice, or gravity transports soil and sediments from one location to another. Next is the deposition. It is the process in which material is laid down or rock sediment settles out of water or wind carrying it during deposition. Next is the compaction. Compaction is the process by which sediments are pressed or squeezed together. Last, cementation. It is the process in which sediments are glued or stick together after minerals. We also have classification of sedimentary rocks. There are 3 types of sedimentary rocks. These are the following. We have clastic sedimentary rocks, chemical sedimentary rocks, and organic sedimentary rocks. When we say clastic sedimentary rocks, these are rocks that are mechanically formed due to the process of weathering, erosion, transportation, and deposition of pre-existing rocks. There are three kinds of clastic rocks. We have rhydaceous rocks, arenaceous rocks, and argillaceous rocks. If the grain size is more than 2 mm in diameter, it is considered as rhydaceous rocks. If the grain size is in between 1 and 2 mm, it is considered as arenaceous rocks. And if the size of the particle is less than 1 mm in diameter, it is considered as argillaceous rocks. The second classification is the chemical sedimentary rocks. These are rocks that are formed from solutions of dissolved mineral and water. Last classification will be the organic sedimentary rocks. These are rocks that are formed from the remains of living plants and animals. Now let's go on to the structures of sedimentary rocks. The noticeable features of sedimentary rocks are the following. We have stratification, ripple marks, mud cracks, and raindrop impressions. When we say stratifications, it is the process in which sedimentary rocks are arranged in layers. Next is the ripple marks. It shows the motion of wind and water waves on lakes, oceans, rivers, and sand dunes. Next is the mud cracks. It is formed when sediments at the bottom of a shallow body of water are exposed to the air and then dry out. Last is the raindrop impressions. It is when raindrops hit soft or fine-grained sediment, and once the sediment dries, you can see visible holes that are left behind. At the properties of sedimentary rocks, we have the aspect of textural groupings. We have the clastic and non-clastic sedimentary rocks. When we say clastic sedimentary rocks, it is composed of grains, fragments of pre-existing rocks that have been packed together with spaces between grains. When we say non-clastic sedimentary rocks, these are found chiefly in rocks that have precipitated chemically from water, such as limestone, dolomite, and dirt. Next is the grain size. Clastic sediments are distinguished on the basis of average grain size. Gravel-sized particles are larger than 2 mm diameter. Sand-sized particles range in diameter from 1/16 to 2 mm, and they feel like a sandpaper. In the bases of silt-sized particles, these have diameters from 1/256 to 1/16 mm, and they feel finely gritty. Last is the clay-sized particles that are smaller than 1/256 mm in diameter, and they feel smooth. Last part of the properties of sedimentary rocks will be the roundness and sorting. When we say roundness, it indicates the extent to which the corners of individual grains have been rounded off, while the sorting is the extent to which the grains making up a clastic rock are all about the same size. And the next is the mineralogy. At this part, we will talk about the materials that is composed of sedimentary rocks. And the most common materials in sedimentary rocks are quartz, feldspar, clay, calcite, dolomite, and rock fragments. And the less common sedimentary minerals that are found in sedimentary rocks are the gypsum, halite, hematite, and limonite. Note that small amounts of amphibole, pyroxene, and mica may also be found in some sedimentary rocks. That's all for the part of sedimentary petrology.